Generation Dan, a weekly podcast of 3 different generations, and we have no joke intro. Caleb, you're freaking me out. I'm Atlas, I'm a millennial. Who else is with me?
Dino the Genetic Marvel. I'm your Gen Xer.
Hi, I'm Caleb McDuff, and I'm your Zoomer for today.
And our guest, you've heard her on 30-2010 from the Laser Time Network. She was with us before. Welcome back, Diana Goodman, everyone.
Hello! Yes, also representing Generation X.
Yeah.
but also somehow boomer something. I don't know, like all of my taste is like 30 years older than I am, so.
It's very peculiar. I'm finding that there are certain things, like there are other Gen Xers where you're going, you're not really Gen X. Like, you're dumb. You don't qualify. Sorry, you're younger. Then it just doesn't work for me. But yeah.
Did your parents have you older, or?
No, they were both 30-ish. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I do think some of it I blame the VCR for, because we were the first people on our block with a VCR. That's how cool we are. And they're old movie fans, and so they would just plop me down in front of old movies, because they knew there wouldn't be sex and violence, and it's movies that they liked. And then I didn't know that those were old. And then I'd get confused when, like, an award show, Gene Kelly comes out. And I'm like, what the hell? What? How did you age 30 years? What?
Guys, have you seen Casablanca? They're like, what's Casablanca? You're like, I just saw it. It's new, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, well, some movies are in black and white and some are in color. I assume that is true in the theaters right now in 1980. Yeah.
See, that happened with me in music with my parents, because they had me at 40. And then my dad was just playing, like, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Rush, like just older bands, and I got into those, and then, like, I just kind of missed the train on the whole, a lot of rap and hip-hop and stuff. It just kind of wasn't.
So, in case the audience wasn't aware, today on Generation Dan, we're doing episode 497 of Talking About Old Guys Shit Again. Zoomers feeling right at home, ladies and gentlemen. Pull up your Pop-Tarts. Get out a friggin' Tide Pod. Pop one in. Let's have a snacky, boys. Come on. We can relate to them. We're going to prove today that these guys aren't as alone as they think they are, and that young guys can relate to old guys shit, because sometimes we don't have a fucking choice. Oh, good.
This is...
Oh, God.
This is coming from the guy whose eyebrows are so pale that it looks like he has no eyebrows.
Oh, you got me. You got me, dude. Where's my eyebrows? Oh no.
Okay.
I think you got to draw them in. More and more dramatic.
Yeah.
Go full, like, drag queen divine eyebrows.
Let's be very
all the way up to your hairline and back down.
I got a pink highlighter.
Yeah, there you go. Look, that could be a good look.
Realistically, this entire time, Caleb hasn't had a headboard for his bed. And that was obviously an easier thing to attack him on than his eyebrows. He also has a mustache, which, granted, it's a decent mustache, but he doesn't have a long enough upper lip for it to look like that's a mustache.
Yeah, it looks like the mustache is the lip, right?
Exactly, right? And so you're going like, but you chose eyebrows, which realistically, Atlas, as we've heard over the last couple of weeks, hair is not something you should joke about. Apparently people take it very seriously. They will attack your face. It's very...
All right, well, now I'm going to look angry for the rest of the episode. It's your fault, Atlas.
They're colored in neon pink, which matches your hat.
It does.
If anything, it brings out your eyes.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm just trying to accessorize a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of expand my avenues creatively as a person, just using myself as a vessel.
Exactly. Be the artwork.
Like someone's trying to figure out which tattoo to get next.
Also, Caleb, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October. So,
yeah, but it's never too late to be an ally, okay? Okay.
Also, for people who have that, it's about that time to get things checked.
Tonight. What am I doing? What am I doing? I have to be in public after this.
Oh,
shit, if we can get him to do this every week without him realizing, he will die happy. All right. Since Diana's been here, we are now asking our guests 4 questions, 3 at the start, 1 at the end.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that first one. What is an embarrassing song from your playlist?
Okay, this is an easy call. I have a weird interest in industrial shorts and music.
Okay.
And I immediately realized I know exactly which one it is. I can send it to you. It is a song from a 1973 album made by General Electric, entirely about their silicon production, called "Got to Investigate Silicon." And there is a song called "Sand," and it's about how sand is magical and we can use it to make all kinds of silicone products. And I just unironically love this song.
Okay.
So, "Sand" from 1973.
Someone should play this song from Hayden Christensen and be like, "Look at it, listen to it."
Oh boy,
Uh,
manufacturing Dan only
it
on
gets
this
everywhere,
part of
all
the
right.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yeah, but
And-
the great people at GE are taking the sand and they're turning it into silicone, which is made from sand. That's one of the lyrics. Yeah.
Are you serious? Like literally that? That's the lyric.
Yes.
I feel like this is a great way to point out that people have lost their skills of being artists. Like that is you need a certain amount of skill to be able to say,
Yes.
you know what? I'm going to make a song about sand and the merits in the industrial modern world. And you're going, how do you make that a sand, buddy? And he goes, don't worry, I got me some talent. And that didn't that
And
happened.
it's like the singer is really good, the orchestration's very nice, and it's like they put work into this stuff. I recommend the documentary "Bathtubs Over Broadway." Came out a couple years ago. It's from a writer on Letterman who used to collect these albums because, yeah, back in the day when you have like the big corporate event, this is something would be like a giveaway. Like they would do a big stage production about, getting excited for the next fiscal year, and they would give out the albums because they put all that work into it.
Okay.
And so there's a whole documentary about like singing songs about your bathroom and all kinds of, like singing songs about cars, and yeah, it's great.
I think they predicted a very different future than what actually ended up happening. Like I feel like it was very Jetson-esque, like where meet your Jetson. Like I feel like we missed out on a whole possibility. And
Hold on, I'm going to see if General Electric's on Spotify.
It is on YouTube. The whole album. I found it. Yeah.
Okay.
Got to investigate silicone.
Got to investigate silicone. That's.
I feel like there are some young people that may have clicked on that and not realized,
Wait, General Electric is dead ass on SoundCloud. Like they got mixtapes and shit, dude.
Yes. Okay. The future is now.
Ooh, I love that corporate gas, dude. Give me a diss on freaking Whirlpool while you're at it.
Oh my god!
Wow. This is
this
is sea
is the
shanties
best
all
answer.
over again.
Yes,
Sea
exactly.
shanties all over again. It gets in the hands of some Gen Z little guy, and he's like, you know what? I'm changing music, and you're like, okay, now everyone's gonna start singing sea shanties again, and now you're gonna have people talking about their refrigerators, and you know what? There's some guy who's gonna upgrade it to like the refrigerator that electronically updates your shopping list. That's gonna be an entire verse. What have you done, Diana? What have you done?
I don't know.
I gotta
my
say,
eyebrows
though-
are pink, and I'm ready to drop some heat.
My least favorite genre of refrigerator are the ones where like it's not clear to see inside. They have like literally the like images that update, so you have to open to see if there's anything in there.
That's
Like some
Oh my
grocery
god,
stores
imagine
do
opening
that.
your
It's the worst.
refrigerator to discover its contents, dude. What the fuck?
Listen.
I mean, in like a grocery store, you know what I mean?
Genre of refrigerator is definitely
A band name?
the title of this episode, because
Yes, definitely.
I feel like, realistically, you just moved in with your ladies. I'm old. Diana is painting a home. Like, we're all into it. And then Caleb's like, I got a mini fridge. 2 of them stacked on top of each other.
I got a fridge that looks like a giant Red Bull can.
Okay, there you go.
That's like the one from the gas station.
It literally is the one from the gas station. Don't ask me how I got it.
No. Hey, we listen. I'm no snitch. I wouldn't ask you. If anything, I'd be like, hey, I got a guy that can move that. Take off any serial numbers on that, just so you know. Okay. He's a traveling handyman.
I think that's the way we should go because, like, so many fancy homes, they're like they hide the refrigerator, like blend it in with the cabinets. No. Make it look like a Red Bull can. Make it as big and crazy as possible.
And keep only marijuana products in it. Let's go. Welcome to the Zoomer generation.
Yeah, fuck wine fridges. A weed fridge.
You know what though? Like, it's definitely coming where someone's gonna be like, "Oh, my refrigerator is actually shaped like a dining room table." You're like, what? Why is? You're like, we don't use it as a dining room table. Actually, where the dining room table is a doorway through a fridge. And you're like, that's not a thing, but everything's gonna be backwards. That only seems reasonable. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to listen to that entire album off SoundCloud. Like, honestly, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night.
What, gonna smoke a joint and like chill out to this, or?
Well, I'm already a little bit high, and that's only gonna get worse from here, right? So that's just gonna.
Oh,
it depends. Yeah.
By the way, Dino, Bobby Oliver from one of our episodes wanted me to tell you that she thinks you rip on yourself too much, and the new drinking game is every time Dino calls himself a giant or something similar, take a shot and be wasted by the end of the episode.
Oh no, people might get hurt if they do this. I am an artiste, sir, and part of that, my art is making fun of me. I'm horrible, but everyone else is even worse. But I wait to the end to do that. It's like, look how bad I am, and you're worse. Ha ha! I've duped you once again. You fool! It's fantastic. Come on. That's
all right. Let's do the
second question. It's a perfect segue. I'm an adult. You can't stop me.
Well, it's something you like to do because you're a grown-up and no one could say otherwise.
The current trending answer is smoking reefer. That's...
Yeah. No, I feel like it's not eating an actual meal, just snacking until I'm not hungry anymore.
Okay.
And then when I'm hungry, I just snack some more. And you can't stop me. Whatever. I ate Cheez-Its for half an hour.
Yeah.
And now I'm not hungry anymore. So I'm just going to call that a meal, I guess. I guess that was
Dr.
lunch.
Roz is calling me right now. He's pissed. I'm gonna put him on hold for now, but you might have a stern talking to at some point.
Yes. I don't have to have a meal. I can just eat until I'm not hungry anymore.
I feel like, if anything, that's like living a charcuterie life. You're like, oh no, I just nibble throughout my life. It's very exciting. Yeah.
Also a possible episode title, Living That Charcuterie Life.
People will just hate on that name just for the fact.
That's true. They say that like eating smaller but more frequent meals is like good for your metabolism. But I don't know. I'll be honest. If I could just walk around with an IV and not have to bother eating again, that would be so nice.
But you would, because you're fat, just like I am. Okay. Yeah. And well, no, not like I am, but you know what I mean. You also have too much. So ultimately, you're still going to eat. You're gonna, I got all my nutrients here. I'm still going to eat some pizza. Why? Because pizza is delicious.
Yeah. I mean, it's like little known fact. The Rolling Stones painted black is because they were getting fat and they didn't want anyone to see their tongue. So they wore black clothes. And I'm making that up off the top of my head.
I believed you. Yeah.
I can't believe that was believable.
You lost me at Rolling Stones, but it's all good. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I was just going to say, no one's looking for confirmation that Caleb is, he'll find the truth. I feel like that's not...
Caleb.
Someone will look at you and go, hey, nah.
You know that song Moves Like Jagger? That's the guy from the Rolling Stones. There you go. He's in.
So he goes like, ooh, 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 ooh. And that's
accurate.
That's the guy?
That's pretty...
Oh. Oh, God, are we going to get copyright strikes? No, you too! No!
I think if you're the one singing it, you're okay. It's just cool. If you play the music.
Well, I mean, when I sing it, the algorithm gets a little confused because, the pitches are just, like, so in sync with one another, but I think we'll be...
Why the fuck does he have pink eyebrows? I don't understand. Copyright strike.
That might actually be a more convincing argument. Let's be honest. Like, listen, he's displaying a certain image that I believe is meant to, deceive.
Communicate that I'm in dire need of mental health counseling. Yeah, that's.
All right.
Oh no,
that's a constant these days. we all need people to talk. You know what?
Yes.
The idea of not talking has gone too far. We all need someone to talk to. That's it. And someone who's not going to be like, "Hey man, you're a bit of a slut." Just go, "You know what? No, I'm just going through a thing. That's fine. That's okay. You shouldn't no judgment."
I can't wait to go to my therapist's office and have him call me a slut for 90 minutes.
That might be good for you, though. I don't know, man. Listen.
Even worse would be if he snuck it in at the end. He's like, "Okay, we're gonna wrap up for today, you fucking slut, and I'll see you next week."
Oh,
all right.
I think we should normalize that, though.
What? Calling people sluts?
Yeah, you know what? Just like I was talking to a guy who's like, "Oh yeah, went on this trip and everything." I'm like, "Guy, you're a bit of a slut, eh? Like you just, maybe tighten it up a little bit."
I don't slut shame people.
I mean,
all right. What was the
amongst
first
friends,
time you felt like a grown up?
Wow, this is super random, but it was the first thing that came into my head, so I'm going with that answer. In about 2000, way back in the year 2000, I graduated college. I had my own place. I had a job. Got home from the job on the bus, got in, turned on the news, and it was right when California were starting to have rolling blackouts. And I was like, oh, I should probably cook dinner now, so I'll have it if the power goes out. And for some reason, that is the moment where I feel like, you're a grown-ass adult right now. You just had a very boring day at a very boring job, and now you're like, oh, yeah, all right, I guess I got to heat up my rice then.
Did you get affected by said rolling blackout, or did you just dodge it?
No, I don't think we did, but they were warning. Enron!
You know what? That's a pretty decent answer.
Smartest guys in the room. You guys see that documentary?
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
No.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Is
it's
that the?
It's about Enron. It's the collapse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a power outage, we couldn't see each other. They should just all die. Like, let's be honest. Like you're just like, listen, we all know you're lying, right? Like it's ridiculous.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like you'll see videos of some rich guy who's like, yeah, so I like buying houses with cash so I can make money, blah blah blah, rent them out. Yeah. And then he gets vilified in the comments because duh. And he's like, why? Why are people mad? And I'm thinking that it's okay to hit people in the face like that, or just Ajit Pai, the guy who helped kill net neutrality in the U.S. Net neutrality being that all internet companies have to treat all traffic the same, versus when it's not a thing, they can throttle speed in more rural areas.
Right.
Yeah. So he's incredibly punchable.
Yeah, it's like, what? And for what? What are you doing this for? Probably so millionaires can have even more money. Yeah, there's one good bop in the nose from every human being.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this in other episodes, but everyone should get punched in the face at least.
Everyone gets once. Yeah. You can't punch him twice.
Yeah.
Once you punched him once,
I feel like
you're
that's
done.
a cycle, though. Like every 6 months, you get to punch one person, no charges whatsoever.
Oh. That's pretty good.
Because then, realistically,
the line outside Mitch McConnell's office goes down the block.
That makes sense, though. Realistically, how long do you have time to recover between punches? I feel like some people would turn that into a career.
Maybe, or just by the end of that, he just looks like at the end of Rocky, Adrian.
So I do have a logistical question about this proposition. Let's say I'm in the gym working with some elastics on my shoulders, and then it all of a sudden snaps, and then I punch myself in the face. Is that my punch for the 6 months?
Oh,
I think the punch has to count as a chargeable offense, right? So that's the whole idea, is that you can't be prosecuted for it, right? So punching yourself in the face wouldn't count, because you can still punch, but the one that would result, you can it's your freebie is what we're talking about. So which. It's not like people don't punch in general, because let's be honest, there would be an entire underground market of people who would sell their free punches.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's true.
I think I'm a bad person because I just made that into an economy of itself.
That
And it
would
kind of
that'd
makes
be
me
interesting.
horrible.
That's-
Where like you go up and you show them the card. Jimmy says hello.
That's true.
So
Could you hire someone to do the punch for you? Because I got noodle arms.
Definitely.
But if I can ask someone to do the punch for me,
There's a comic strip that I watch on Instagram called Elder Cactus. I've sent it to you, Alice, and Kayla before.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites is this guy. It's a guy who looks like a 1920s gangster, like trench coat, large brim hat, and he's bent over and he's going, "Oh my God, my butthole! Oh my God, oh my butthole!
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm in so much pain! Oh my God!" And somebody comes over and is like, "Oh my God, can I help you?" And the guy stands up and goes, "Tony Lazzuto says hello." Bang! And shoots him. And then two guys watching are like, "He's used that trick on like 15 people already." Because he's an assassin for Tony Lazzuto. And it's this whole series. I'm like, listen, it only makes sense that you would be able to transfer your punches to other people in the same fashion. Like, you hire a puncher. Also, that would be an entire underground economy. Because it'd be a barter. Right?
I am putting the punch economy on my ongoing list of band names.
The punch economy.
The punch
Wait, that's actually kind of fire. Hold on.
Right?
Punchonomics?
Punching on.
Hey. There was Reaganomics, and now Punchonomics. Pow-pow.
Trickle down these fists, son.
Trickle down these fists. Yes, that's exactly what it should happen.
Let's see. Other highlights from that include Toxic Hamster Wheel, Restrained Vengeance, and The Audacity of This Bitch. But there are many others.
All good, reasonable. Those definitely sound like Christian rock bands.
The audacity of this
bitch for a Christian rock
You're
band.
praising Jesus, but the
They're
audacity.
They're edgy. They're an edgy Christian rock band.
An edgy Christian rock band. I didn't go to bed before 7, and it was a Saturday.
Oh,
Or he's just talking about like how Jesus was Jewish, or just the whole thing.
L. Ron Hubbard was a black man.
The Last Supper was a Passover Seder.
Yeah.
Oh
I love when people listen, and that was so. It was yesterday and everything, and people were like, "Oh, what were you like?" Because I celebrated it, but at the same time, it's like people who don't know that. You're like, that's the whole basis of like most religions at this point, right? It's very weird.
I don't know. So I've seen a lot of stuff from Jewish Twitter talking about Christians taking over Passover.
Sure. Absolutely.
Turning it into Jesus is the sacrificial lamb, and that's why we eat lamb. And it's like, of all of the holidays, I see there's overlap. Like, yes, you can bring Passover into like Easter or Good Friday stuff, sure, but like, don't just make shit up.
No, because there's a specific
you
day.
Can ask. You could there's a lot of Jews around. You could just ask them what you're doing, and they're probably going to say, "Stop it." Have you not taken everything from us already?
We've been through enough, goddammit.
Fun fact, actually, in Scotland, for the biblical interpretation of Jesus being the sacrificial lamb, they actually had to change it to the sacrificial cattle because lambs are too sexually explicit in Scotland.
I can't tell if he's kidding.
Of course he's kidding.
It's pretty on the line.
I don't know.
It's going to be our last episode. We're getting canceled after this.
God. We should probably go into the topic proper, but like,
Look, there's a lot of weird Scottish traditions. I'm just gonna say, yeah, sure, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Greek. I know. There's all sorts of historical inaccuracies that are indulged upon. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Why don't we talk about some movies?
Absolutely.
Diana had idea for the topic. So the story of storytelling.
Yes. Which I don't even know how you would start that. Like, realistically, how do you start the idea of, like...
Start in the beginning.
Yeah, well, I know. I was going to say that, but I'm like, that's a horrible way to start this. In the beginning. Okay. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But it's. I guess you would start with, since there's been verbal
what?
stories just handed down through the ages, right? Like if things get exaggerated, but it's still a story. It's a mythology or whatever, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. At what time does something gain credit to be like history? Right? It's weird.
You can
Like-
sell merch.
Well, you always have offshoot, because it's always it's a giant game of telephone. So you have people changing things. Like a good example of history kind of warping depending where you go is Kaiser and Tsar are both based on the word Caesar, because everyone had a boner for the Roman Empire. So you just have it like offshooting based on the language and stuff. So with stories and things like that, like the hero's journey, when I was learning about that in school, it was all like, all right, so examples include Harry Potter, The Matrix, Star Wars, things like that.
Mhm.
Pick someone in the Bible. There's something in there.
Yeah.
It's fine. Even from some perspectives, even the bad guys. You're like, well, all right, sure.
Job is my homeboy.
Yeah, and the moral of that story is sometimes God's a dick. I've never understood that particular
I
story.
feel like everyone gets screwed in the end. You're like, that's pretty much how it's going to go. So
The only question is which end.
Ayo.
both. Definitely both. Yeah. Oh. Well, that's okay. So realistically, this leads into the beginning. Like, what your oldest favorite movie?
Yeah,
Or should we go with just story in general?
maybe. Because, like, I remember you guys saying this on, what was it, 30, 2010 maybe, where it was favorite movie from before you were born.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like adapting that to oldest favorite movie, because, like, okay, there's a lot of really good movies I can name that are ridiculously old, but it's like, they're not my favorite. But what is the one that's like, oh yeah, that's like, I've seen that 20 times. That's comfort food.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to hear people's answers, because sometimes there's just really random ones. It's like, when did you even see that? Like, what are you talking about? Okay, you loved it? Awesome! We can talk about it now. Yeah, it's a good icebreaker.
Definitely. Katie and I have these two posters that we got for, what was it, Christmas? Where it's like, 100 90s movies, 100 80s movies bucket list, and then when you watch it, you're supposed to scratch off the thing, and it's got a little picture. And like we've seen a lot of these movies on our own, but we've only scratched off things that we see together. So far we got Airplane, Field of Dreams, The Sixth Sense, Mrs. Doubtfire, and 10 Things I Hate About You. And that's all, like, just we've seen together.
I'm having a moment. The fact that those are all things that came out while I've been alive. So
sorry, guy.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. I feel personally attacked.
Did I see all of those in the theaters? I might have seen all of those in the theaters.
Yeah, and that doesn't make me
we
feel
watched
good.
on our first date. So
okay, no wait, Airplane I did not. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Airplane came out,
80?
1980.
Yeah.
1980. Okay.
Yeah.
So if my parents went to go see it
4 times.
Yeah, that's pretty. I feel like 1994 should be a significant, like when the internet started, before internet and after internet. Because I'll tell you,
that's the year I was born. So
yeah, you might be techno Jesus.
I also like a lot of really good movies came out in 1994. Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, like lots of
very low expectations and very, very non-existent CGI. Look up Dire Straits' Money for Nothing, and you'll see the CGI we had.
Dude,
it was not
watched.
conducive to
We used to play that in the band I was in, but also it was my mom's like favorite music video. So like when we were playing it, she's like, "You have to watch it because it's so ridiculously terrible."
It's guy, and it was like cutting edge at some point.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it was a
so
dull
cool.
blade. It was not like.
Well, I definitely had that like video games when I was a kid, like when they would come out on GameCube or N64, I was like, the cutting edge of 3D. And then I go back and look at it now. I'm like, Sonic Adventure, what happened?
Yes, a reference I understand.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm in it, baby. I'm in it. All right. Talking
back
about
to-
old guy shit.
We all fell into that trap. We all
Yeah,
fell into
definitely.
the trap.
Let's see. But to answer the question of like best favorite old movie,
I got a pee. I'll be right back.
okay, I feel like the easy answer is
He's
Wizard
gonna
of
go
Oz.
Google something like, what year was that? Oh no, it's only 2000.
He's 100%. Yeah, that's fair.
Like Wizard of Oz is too easy, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. 1939. That is an old ass
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
That is an old ass movie. Because my parents always told me when I was a kid, like, you see how it's black and white at the beginning and in color? That's when the world shifted from black and white. And I believed it for the longest time.
Your family was mean.
Sunset Boulevard. That's my answer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good answer. That's 50, I think. 1950.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went on a little bit of a old movie TV show kick when I was in college because there was this guy I worked for. He was building a guest house for himself, and I was helping with the construction. And he would, at the end of each day, make me watch an episode of Perry Mason or Gunsmoke with him on the clock. I was getting paid for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, all right. I liked it. They're good shows, but it was just funny that I'm like, I'm getting paid for this, motherfucker.
Okay,
Weird
and
guys.
that led you to Sunset Boulevard somehow?
Well, no, because like he's like, go watch this at home. Go watch
Oh.
Sunset Boulevard, and then
You got homework?
it wasn't like if you don't watch it, you're fired. He was just like, I recommend this. Go watch it. I'm like, well, I'm enjoying Gunsmoke and Perry Mason. Why not? Like, maybe it was I'm getting paid for this confetti that. So yeah, Sunset Boulevard. That's my answer.
That story is a lot weirder than your answer.
It
Your
is.
answer is
It's a
totally normal. Be like, okay, yeah, sure.
weird fucking guy. Also, he would call me, like, I jokingly started calling him Hair, whatever his last name is, like to make fun of him because
And he dug it.
He dug it. So weird,
That's
weird guy.
that's a little.
Yeah.
That's a little uncomfortable for the times.
Childhood friend of my mom's. That's how I like.
That doesn't make it better, man.
Oh no, definitely, because she told me it. She told me stuff about when he was a kid, and I was like, ew. But money's money, and he wasn't killing anybody. So
Listen, okay, that's not how you deal with that kind of stuff. You try and downplay it instead of saying, "Well, he was paying for it," so it's not. Oh,
have I ever held back before? You know me by now. Like, fine. What's your
I find it
answer?
very entertaining. Well, you know what? I don't really have a good answer for that. Like, we weren't very. Like, I had a love for movies later on in life.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't until I could go to the theater and stuff, and it was usually at friends' houses. We wouldn't do that because we were just very focused on reading the Bible and things like that, like public speaking and those kind of things were a lot more of my childhood than everyone else, right? So like we didn't really like. Same with music. Like it was you had to be very secretive of what you were listening to, because if your parents found out, that had a swear word in it, that thing's getting broken. You're like,
Oh man.
Yeah. So like,
But what about now? I mean, you've got favorite movies now, right?
yeah, but I tend
You've heard of movies? Yet?
I have heard of the moving pictures. They are. Yeah.
You know they talk now and everything.
I wasn't Amish. No, so it was like, but I always enjoyed. it's not movies that were from before I was born. Like other than what was I want to say like Lawrence of Arabia and stuff like that. Like, but I don't remember it. Like that's the thing is, I remember I've seen it. I remember I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I know how much of a bastard I am, and there's a very good chance I'm lying to myself about how good it was to distract myself from something else. I know I'm a little bit crazy. Well, a lot crazy.
Was it just
but
to
in the right way?
appease, right, where you pretend to like something so people don't go, what? Like,
Yeah, well, listen, I've been fat for a very long time, so I'm like, hey, I'm funny and a good time. You know, that's my go-to, man. So I'm like, I'm always like having a great time, asking me, and love your new friends. They're everyone's great, you know. So that's why people like having me around. Then they realize I'm a horrible person because I will just tell them to go fuck themselves. Like I don't care. No, I'm just dead inside because of comedy. It's great.
Caleb, do you have an answer? Or
What, my favorite old people movie?
yeah,
Um,
sure. Just let him have it. Let him
Yeah,
have it.
that's
fucking
fair.
Stuart Little.
This makes me want to die.
That's
Mhm.
worse.
That
That's-
did come out before I was born, though.
Oh, dickhole.
So
I have never seen that, and you know what? On principle, because I was like, no, I'm not watching that movie. And now, doubly so, I'm like, I want nothing to do with it. In my universe, it doesn't even exist.
I think that's a fine movie, but it's not even 25 years old.
Every time I fart, I ask the people around me if there's a mouse on a motorcycle somewhere.
Diana, what's your answer? I'm sure it's going to be like deep cut.
It's tough because I kind of want to like be a total dick and go with like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is more than 100 years old.
Yeah.
Which is a fun movie, and I've seen it a bunch of times, and I will rewatch it just about any time. But honestly, it's Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938, the Errol Flynn Robin Hood, which is like seriously the basis for every other Robin Hood movie. They all just rip it off.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. It's like really colorful. It's got awesome sword fights. It's got this like ridiculous score by a guy who studied with Wagner. And it's like you can put little kids in front of it to this day, and it's like the movie's almost 90 years old, man. And yeah, they would totally be like, "That was great." Like,
And also Earl Flynn, where you're like, he's just gorgeous. You're like, okay, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah, and Olivia de Havilland, she's just like, I don't know what is going on where she's like, she's never looked more gorgeous. Which is like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. What the fuck? Why isn't everyone talking about this?
See, okay, this is the weird thing is like when people were gorgeous a long time ago, you were like, man, gorgeous, right? And now it's like muddied water where you're kind of going, wait, maybe you're lying. I'm not sure. Get me a trowel and a heat lamp. I want to see if any of this comes off. It's very peculiar.
Because you know, they didn't have Instagram filters back then and stuff. So like you had to kind of put up or shut up, right?
Listen, if someone had an Instagram filter back then, they would be called a witch and burned at the stake. Like that's what's gonna happen, right? Like, you don't look like this. You're a liar. Some sort of witchcraft. Right?
Yeah, they have to do it the old-fashioned way. Just smear some Vaseline on the lens, so you have sort of that glow.
There you go.
That's literally what they do. It worked.
What about that second one? The second question.
The second question. Oh, best ensemble cast.
Best ensemble cast. Does it necessarily have to be a movie where it's an ensemble like?
I don't
cast,
think
or
so.
Is it just like best cast overall?
Yeah, like what's the best? I don't know why I was thinking about this, but it's just the best assemblage of people all in one place, all in like the same movie or TV show.
TV show throws another wrench in it.
TV show throws another wrench in, but honestly, I like can never get over how good the cast of Clue is.
Oh yeah, that is
like,
pretty good.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about. It's like each one of those people is a freaking all-star, and you got them all in one place.
Yep.
I don't know. The first thing that popped into my head when the question was asked was Back to the Future, but I don't think that's necessarily It's pretty good.
Everybody is on fire in that too. It's like the best work any of them ever did. So,
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
See, there's a lot of movies like that where it was like they weren't famous, like, and also too like back in the day, even if you were a movie star, like 50-50, you were still poor, right? Like there was a chance that you weren't like super cool, and then like it started to transition where it's like, oh, if you're in movies, you got bills. Like it's gonna be right. So yeah, there's a lot of old stuff too, but there's also a lot of new stuff too, right?
So I doodled it. First thing that popped up, Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
Damn,
We're just
No,
gonna
that is-
forget about a Muppets Christmas Carol.
Why?
that's true. There's a case for like at least the first 3 or 4 Muppet movies. There's so many people in the original Muppet movie, and like now you practically have to pause it and explain. Okay, kids, so look, that's Edgar Bergen, and he was a ventriloquist, and he was famous. All right, here we go. Okay, kids, let's pause again. That's Richard Pryor. So Richard Pryor.
And then you go, that's Jason Segel. You know him. Moving on.
Oh man, actually, what was the one that was out just a little while ago? The something murders summer.
What?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Only Murders in the Building?
No, I saw that.
I
That
know
one's
exactly
great.
what you're talking
Oh,
about.
no.
Like the
Summertime?
Happy Time murders.
Happy
or something
Time.
Yeah.
like that.
Happy Time Murders. That was actually really wild. Where it's like, you know what? Like puppets aren't as bad as like puppeteers make them out to be. I feel like, you know, someone's like, I have a puppet. You're like, no, absolutely not. But when you watch, you know, something cool like that, you're like, oh, that's pretty wild.
First Pirates of the Caribbean?
Not really.
Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, Jeffrey Rush, Keira Knightley. That's pretty good.
Pretty
Shrek
good.
2.
And that's early 2000s Johnny Depp before he goes completely off the rails.
Caleb, what did you just say?
I think Shrek 2. He's got a good argument actually.
Oh,
they bring in
Two?
Cleese and Julie Andrews. Man, come on.
Yeah. And Antonio Banderas.
And Antonio. Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
That's a good answer.
Alright.
Shrek 2 is a
I
good
think that's
answer.
actually a good answer.
Young guy's got some shit up his sleeve.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's that is definitely one of the best sequels of all time, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, that's one of those sequels that actually does. I think it made more money than the original, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know if you guys have seen Sonic 2 yet, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. That's
Another reference I understand, and it's also Sonic the Hedgehog.
the best part is he blew a puff of smoke before saying that.
I want to
just
try.
If ever the dichotomy between us, generationally speaking, was ever more apparent than this episode.
Yeah,
Like,
because
my eyebrows are literally pink, my nails are painted, I got the dangly earrings, and I'm blowing vape smoke talking about Shrek. Jesus Christ.
like Caleb and I were raised on 3D Sonic, and Dino and Super Diana was not, right?
Nope.
Yeah, so like the best Sonic game, in my opinion, is Sonic Adventure 2.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
I have it. I have an emulator hooked up to my 65-inch TV screen, and I'll play Sonic, and he's like this big, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. This game sucks. I'm just gonna play this shit out of it because I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my answer is Back to the Future, just off of like knee-jerk reaction. So
Yeah. That's like, look. There's also a lot of stuff that like we're not getting, like the cast of Harry Potter.
Oh,
that's
like-
pretty good. The first
Well,
one, like just any of them, or like the first one, or what?
I am a fan of Richard Harris, and I really
Okay.
enjoyed. I enjoy him as a character, but even like him in The Count of Monte Cristo, you're like, there's a certain, like, I feel like ensemble cast has nothing to do with fame or credits. It really comes down to how much of a team these people, like how much they actually get along, right? Like that's where like you see the interviews for like a lot of the groups for their Marvel movies, where they're all like talking about having lunch together and going out and doing this. Like they made themselves into a team, and that immediately transferred over into their rapport between each other. Right? And the same thing with Clue, where you're like, you're kind of stuck in a house filming. Like it's a great story, and it's so topsy-turvy that you have to know not just your part, but everyone else's part as well. And also Tim Curry's just amazing.
yeah.
Martin Mull is Colonel Mustard.
Yeah. Just everybody.
So
Yeah, Harry Potter is a good answer because that's a deep bench of a lot of British character actors that it's like like the guy who plays his uncle, he's been working for a million years and he's always good. He is total like a hey, it's that guy, Richard Griffiths, and I mean, I actually can't.
All three kids crushed it for 8
all the
movies.
kids end up doing a great job. I actually really hate the first Harry Potter movie. I didn't like it at all, and I rewatched it, and I've tried, and not until 3. At 3, they pick up for me, and then I like them. But
I think they just had to establish, like, it's not going to be the best. Also, Chris Columbus.
Yeah, exactly. But the casting, damn.
I gotta say though, I found out that Chris Columbus wanted to direct all of them, and they stopped him after 2. And I just imagine, so at the end of the second one, where Hagrid comes back and he says the cheesy ass line, "There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid," and then they hug. I'm just imagining, like, if he did all 8 movies, at the end of the Battle of Hogwarts, they're like, "There's no Hogwarts without your twin dead." Just super fucked up. Sorry.
Hey man, that's one of those movies where like it's lasted such a long time that it's gone over to other generations and stuff, when you're seeing things from a very different perspective, right? Like, how many years? It was like 10 years that the movie, or longer, which is insane, right?
Yeah, 2001 to 2011, right?
Yeah.
And even and the Marvel movies, you're like, 20 years? Are you guys mental? Like, come on. It's a lot of those people. I'm surprised that everyone stayed alive. Let's be honest, because we've all seen pictures of those guys late at night. And they're like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? Want some magic?" You're like, "Whoa, that's some
Dad?
choices made."
What?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Maggie Smith actually is magical.
Oh, well, she was going through chemo during the last one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like she was like almost dead during part of it, and then you find out how much of a badass character she has, and you're like, "Oh."
And she's like, "I must stay alive so I can summon the statues."
Yep.
Well, there's sorry.
Like I've seen movies from her from like the late 60s, early 70s, and it's like she's the same. She just looks younger, but it's like she always had like pissed off 75-year-old energy.
Oh yeah, like she looked younger, but not by a lot. Like you're like, huh?
She and I are kindred spirits then, because I am the youngest old person you'll ever meet.
Also true. That is fact.
Till I get old, then I'm just an old person.
And you have sweaters in randomly placed areas where you frequent. Let's be honest. You're that kind of person.
I'm wearing a dad sweater right now, so
It might get chilly.
yeah. Well, I'm sitting next to the AC in my apartment, so it is chilly.
Oh, you're gonna catch a cold.
Yeah.
So wait, Back to the Future.
I don't know. Like,
I think Harry Potter's a good argument, man.
Harry Potter.
Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Shrek 2 is Shrek 2. Yeah. I would even go with the Austin Powers movies.
Oh God.
Which are mostly just him, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
Mostly Mike Myers. I grew up with Jay Roach's son. Like, he was one of my best friends growing up. Yeah. And I kind of didn't know the cultural significance of it all when I was a little kid. Like, I just, he made Austin Powers. I like Austin Powers, but I didn't realize how deep it ran. And then also his mom is Susanna Hoffs from the Bengals. So,
oh shit!
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the only one reacting because I'm old. I get it.
Hey man, there's a Michael Myers Way down 2 roads over. Like, that's where he grew up. From where I am right now. Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very it's Scarborough is where he grew up, and his type of humor is very people there will make that kind of sarcasm. It's not even it's Canadian, but even just down to Scarborough humor where you're going, that's funny, right? So it's you got to be here. You wouldn't understand, and I know you want to be adopted, but you're not coming. So.
Jackson, if you're out there and listening to this, I hope you've been well. I haven't talked to you in forever, so yeah. I guess move on to question number 3. Yeah, which is favorite fish out of water.
Crawfish.
I'm a shrimp guy myself.
Interesting pick.
I'm gonna give Dino a heart attack.
Are mud skippers technically
Ah, goddamn it.
fish?
Ooh, that's
I love
a
them.
good answer.
I love
These are
mud
ambiguous.
skippers.
I heard you like mud tips. No, but like you brought up as examples like My Cousin Vinny and what was the other one? 21 Jump Street. Was it like the more recent one with
Yeah,
Jonah Hill? Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Just turned 10 and so much better than I remember. I don't know. Like I remembered it was funny, but I did not remember how funny.
Yeah. I don't know. When I try and think of fish out of water movies, like nothing comes to mind.
Finding Nemo.
Actually, yes.
Finding Nemo is good, literally. Yeah.
See?
No.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Pleasantville. That's my answer.
Ooh,
Pleasantville.
that's a good answer.
Loved Pleasantville.
Mad Max?
The first one, or
Technically,
Any of
all
them?
of them.
yeah,
He's not like anyone else.
he just kind of shows up and then.
Technically, it is. See, fish out of water is very weird because there's also like you're seeing it from an individual's perspective, but that doesn't necessarily make them the fish out of water. Like My Cousin Vinny, definitely that would be fish out of water. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's tricky. I don't know. Like,
Well, what about you're just saying Austin Powers?
Yeah.
don't
Other
think-
examples
He's
here.
totally a fish out of water.
Mr. Deeds,
for
Crocodile
time,
Dundee, Thor.
Oh yeah, Thor. I
yeah.
never thought of that.
yeah.
First Thor.
Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, technically.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're so. That's such a not broad term, but it's just the idea of like, from what perspective are they a fish out of water, right? Like,
School of Rock. Big. Beverly
Oh.
Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Iron Giant.
Iron Giant,
Groundhog
definitely.
Day.
I cannot help but cry almost.
Some
through the
Like It
entire
Hot.
movie.
Back to the Future, which we just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Some Like It Hot. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Ooh.
that should have been one of the favorite ones that we had. That's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
like,
Oh god.
"I'm a man." He's like, "That's fine." Ah,
Nobody's perfect. One of the best closing lines of all time. You know what? I'm gonna go with Coming to America.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Did you see the second one? Because I haven't.
I did, and it's kind of just retreading every joke
Oh, yeah.
from before.
So like an
except
Ace
the
Ventura 2, basically?
Kinda, but then the costumes in that are so awesome, and they got no awards recognition. I'm super pissed off. It's the same lady who did Black Panther, but it's like now she can go really batshit, and people are wearing these like metallic thing bulbs on their heads with feathers, and you're like, okay. But the jokes are seriously, it's like, hey, remember this? Well, we're doing it again. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like you'll laugh, but then you go,
You'll laugh.
same-
And
same-
yeah, Wesley Snipes is there, and he's really fun. Kind of want to
I
spin
don't
off with
think
him.
He is. He's become an odd character, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
I
he's
think
fun in the movie, I'm saying. But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Every time I see him, I'm like, what happened to that guy? This is weird.
I don't know, man. I don't know what
Fight
happened.
the IRS. They're gonna destroy your mind, apparently. That's fair.
Yeah, it turns out you do have to pay taxes sometimes.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry, Wesley Snipes.
Not sorry. He should pay his taxes.
I mean, I don't know. I really liked Major League. It's my favorite baseball movie. Take that, Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I get for 30 2010 because we do what came out 30 years ago, 20 years and 10 years ago. We just did Blade 2, like, I don't know, a month or two ago. And
Yeah.
I'd never seen it. And I was like, oh shit, this was so much fun. Because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, it's an action movie, but it's also like very 2002 with like the techno music and everything looks like The Matrix. And then you realize, oh, it's directed by Guillermo del Toro because something really strange will happen. And you're like, oh, well, okay then. That was unexpected. I did not expect that vampire's face to like break in half.
Yeah.
And have a predator face with a tentacle come out of it. Huh.
Yeah. At the same time, it took the whole genre in such a weird way. You're going, wow, okay, this is Insane. I love it.
Okay, this is vampires now. Sure.
I think that was the peak, and it started going downhill after that, right?
Yeah.
All right, best vampires.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Best vampires. All I can think of is like Dark Shadows, the Twilight series, Blade, and like not a lot comes to mind.
Alucard from Castlevania, the son of Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, like because the next I'll wait on that.
How about I gotta go with Nosferatu because he just turned 100. Good for him.
Nice.
Do you really?
Yeah, Nosferatu, the original vampire movie, just turned 100.
I was also thinking for ensemble cast was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the movie, because that had like an incredible amount of good people, like Ian Holm, Kenneth Branagh,
Was it Helena Bonham Carter?
Yeah,
Helena Bonham Carter.
And as well, Robert De Niro was the monster, which you're like, what? Like, and he does a great, just an incredible job. But at the same time, that's also fish out of water kind of thing, where you're going, well,
it all comes together.
It really does, but
I don't really have a good answer for this.
Well, Team Edward, because fuck those hairy little pussy dog boys.
Interview with a Vampire.
Lestat's pretty cool.
Lestat is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta abstain from that.
Well, he was until what's the other guy that took over as Lestat? Where you're going, nah, man, you didn't do a good job. That's
No.
All I'm saying is, if a vampire can't make me hard, it's not a cool vampire.
That's just a weird.
No, I totally agree. That's the point of vampires.
See? That's the point.
Yeah.
The point of vampires. They had a Goodman, understand.
Yeah. Vampires just have to be sexy. That's
Otherwise,
how
are you going
it's
to
like
make
a
more
seductive
vampires?
thing where they suck your blood. Like they can't just be like surprise and they take your blood.
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to seduce you.
You'd be like, hey, can I come in your house?
Do they do that little dance while they're standing at the doorway?
I don't know what kind of vampire you guys hang out with. But...
Caleb, take a whack at it. Go knock on your neighbor's door. Can I come?
It's like, I'm not sure. Do you have to pee or are you on meth? If you're like, hey.
I feel like with his painted pink eyebrows, he has a better shot of shimmying his way in there, going, hey, let me in.
Do you want to let me bite on your neck?
That and the mustache, I think both of those things definitely will get you into. It's like carrying a ladder. People will just
Caleb,
let you in places.
You look like a prequel to Raising Arizona.
What?
Like Nick Cage in Raising Arizona. You look like him, like where they go, we're going to make a prequel.
Yo, Hollywood, I'm available.
All right, let's do this last question, and then we'll do our plugs in this. All right.
Best way to ruin the worst movie by making it awesome.
That was so long. Like, what makes a good bad movie? That's when I saw the question, my first answer or knee-jerk reaction was something that becomes another genre. Because let's take The Room, for example, the ghosts of bad movies. Meant to be like a romantic drama, it has become a giant meme and is hilarious. Whereas
I don't think it gets credit for being ridiculously hilarious. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, hi, Mark.
I feel like there's an intent, right? The guy who made that doesn't get the credit for it being hilarious because he didn't make it to be hilarious. You know what I mean?
That's what makes it so beautiful, though.
Yeah,
that's
makes it funnier.
A good bad movie is like when they don't mean for it to be bad. Like you can tell they tried really hard and they put their heart and soul into it. And it's still hot garbage.
Yeah,
that's
it's different between that and something where they try and make it bad. Like they try and lean into the memeness of it all, and it just doesn't. Because the
movie 43.
Yeah, that's corny.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Yeah.
Most memes kind of happen by accident, right? Like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. The memes from that, he didn't slap Chris Rock with the intent of meme.
Talking about old guys shit.
Just gonna happen sometime.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's my guess. I'm gonna turn the light on because it's getting dark for a second.
Yeah, I'm a lot with Caleb about they had to really try hard to be sincere and serious. You have to be serious because bad comedies are never good bad movies.
Right.
Because they were trying to be funny and they failed.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when something's really sincere and trying hard, like I'm thinking Steven Seagal at the end of On Deadly Ground, giving this long ass speech about the environment, and it just won't.
Just Steven
end.
Seagal. Just period.
Yeah,
Steven Seagal is
saving the environment by blowing up oil wells. Good job, dude.
Yeah.
You guys have seen the Tom Segura bit about Steven
Oh,
Seagal,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
so good.
I don't know if I have.
It's a classic. I'll send it to you when we're done. But like,
It's the fact is, like, Steven Seagal is out of his mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Diana, have you seen all the Steven Seagal movies, like Marked for Death, and like all those? Okay, which were peak Steven Seagal. Okay, and like if you go back and watch them, you're like, this guy's nuts. Like, there's no under no. You're watching, going, you know what? We didn't have a lot of resources in the 80s and 90s. We had very low standards for a reason, right?
Mm.
And then you're kind of like, listen, that guy is crazy, and it's only gotten like exponentially worse now in real life. And you're like, it's a great bit. It is.
Yeah, no, he's a crazy person, compulsive liar who has a lot of mob ties. Like he might just exist in movies because of the mob.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
I don't know if you know this, but for the past 20 years, I've been a cop. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's incredible. But that's the thing, is he's just insane, right? Like, there's no rhyme or reason. And that's the same way.
Yeah, exactly. So when one movie becomes another genre by accident, I think that's when you have a good bad movie. And you can tell when they try and do it on purpose, and it just doesn't.
I feel like that's the easiest thing to spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people who try, and I feel like it's kind of sad at the same time, where you can tell when people is putting their everything in it, and you're like, oh, you're just not cut out for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I know you try, like, it's this, like, everybody sees this in comedy too, where somebody's like, you can see them pouring their heart and soul, and you're like, hey man, that's not funny. Like, it's a great story or something, but it's not entertaining. No go, right? It's peculiar.
Well, now we know. And Diana, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan.
Oh, thank you. That was fun.
We have one more question for you, but first, where can people find you and follow you?
They can find me on the Twitter at LeCineNerd, LeCineNerd, or they can follow my show, 302010 Podcast. It's 302010 Podcast, every single week, looking at all the movies and TV and stuff from 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and 10 years ago. Spoiler alert, 2 weeks, we have 2 different superhero movies that I never thought we would see. One of them in 2002, one of them in 2012. One of them involves a kid from Queens, and one of them involves assembling some guys.
By the time this comes out, that'll have been 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, they can still go back.
Yeah, yes, they can.
Yeah, no, the idea that, the Avengers is 10 years old.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that gave me heartburn.
I know.
All right. Well,
oh my God, am I going to die soon?
Maybe. Someone's going to punch you in the face and will kill you. You can find us at Generation Dan on Twitter. You can follow me at Atlas Novak, Twitter and Instagram, or follow my other show at Nexus at Night in that same place. That's a better trading card game. How about the rest of us?
Yeah, I'm Dino Degenic Marvel. You can find me on my own YouTube channel where I have lots of clips of shows that I do and live broadcasts, as well as on Twitch and all sorts of places. So feel free to check it out. It's if you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, that's the best place to find all the new stuff that I'm doing. So.
Well, I'm Caleb McDuff. I'm on Twitter at Caleb C. McDuff. If I ever get up to doing things, that's where you'll hear about it. Otherwise, I'm here every week on the Generation Dan podcast. Follow the show, all that good stuff.
I don't think his initial is C.
Caleb's C word.
Like that seems more. I don't know. It's a Zoomer joke.
All right. So normally we have comedians on the show, but in your case, I think we'll just ask, what's the most memorable thing that's happened during either podcasting or on the job?
Ooh, gosh, okay, I got one. So I've had a couple different careers that have nothing to do with each other, and for a while I worked in corporate event planning for like big sales events, kind of like I was talking about at the beginning of the show with like GE doing a big production about sand.
Yeah,
I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
But like HP and companies like that, where they'd have like all their salespeople get together, or they would have just a special event for them. And one of my jobs was organizing all the name tags. And I saw a guy whose name was Manly Loving.
Oh.
And I was like, no way. And like it became kind of the joke with like my coworkers, like, that's a fake name. That is super not.
It has to be a fake name.
A guy named Manly Loving. I don't believe it. And then
that sounds like Dino's male prostitute pseudonym that he has when he goes out late at night.
And
Tuesday
then
from 4 to 6.
the first day he didn't show up, and it's like the name tag is still there. And we're like, see, I told you it was a fucking fake name. And then he showed up, and he looked exactly like I wanted him to look. He was like, I don't know, like a middle-aged guy. He had not quite a Wesley Snipes thing going, but he was in like a really nice suit. Like it was a really nice, like Italian cut gray suit with like really shiny shoes, and he just like looked like a really cool pastor. And I was just like, "Hi, Mr. Loving. Here's your name tag." Oh my god, it was him! Like he was a celebrity for the rest of us. The rest of the time, like there he is. That's him over there.
Pastor Manly Loving.
That's your real name, like.
Yeah, Manly Loving. Look him up.
Like,
or don't. Leave him alone. He's just some guy, but he just has that name.
No, that's definitely come up for me before. People are like, are you sure that's your name? I'm like, yes, it's my real name. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, you know what, though? But, yeah, Manly Loving, like, how do you live up to that name? Like, I don't...
It's
like,
tough.
That is a solid argument for the whole idea of naming your offspring and everything. Like, there's certain names you should stay away from. Manly Loving, I would have thought would have been one of them, apparently. Yeah.
Imagine being named Manly Loving and having a micro penis.
Dude, I hope not.
Feels bad.
May he be well endowed. What if he ends up listening to this podcast? That'd be hilarious.
Yo, Manly Loving, if you're well endowed, let's fucking see it, buddy.
Yeah, we have
I don't think
I'll do hashtag Manly Loving with you.
I don't think we should, because
leave
I
the
feel
man
like
alone.
hashtag Manly Loving. That's not necessarily our target audience.
Well, you
not
mean that's
that
not
it
on
isn't.
brand?
Not that, like,
I mean,
you know what?
If we end
you
up
saying it with that face,
yeah. If we
Maybe
end
it is
up,
on brand.
Eyebrows.
if we
All
end up appealing to the LGBT audience, so be it. That's fine.
hey, well, you know, we're not bad people. Well, like for real reasons, not pretend reasons. Like we, you know, Atlas is a murderer. He killed somebody. It's just
God.
true.
It was one time.
Now I'm like Googling to make sure. Okay. Is it like really hard to find, or is he like really easy to find? I don't want people to bother him. But
I'm not sure you want that on your Google search history.
Of course I do. But I love that Google asked me, do you mean Manly Living Room?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Let's be honest.
In it.
You could maybe make it a lot more specific by saying Mr. Manly.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
We're gonna find Dino Runner's page here in a minute. We better freaking relax.
I don't know if we can talk about this much more. I'm already seeing stars. I'll be honest with you. I'm having issues with.
We should probably sign off. Whether you're Manly Loving, a Manly Living Room, or anything in between. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye everyone.
Thank you.